15 seconds.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting Tuesday, September the 8th at 1 o'clock of the Texarkana, Arkansas Board of Directors to order. At this time, we'll have the roll call.
Director Hollenbush,
Present.
Director Brewer,
Here.
Director Minor,
Here.
Director Peavy,
Here.
Assistant Mayor Teeters, Assistant
Mute.
Mayor Teeters.
She's muted.
Here.
Oh, there she goes.
Yes, there she is. Director Harris
Here.
and Mayor Brown.
Here. Okay, moving on into the consent agenda, Director Harris has asked to remove item number 2 on the consent agenda. So that leaves on the consent agenda, item number 1 is approval of the minutes of our regularly scheduled meeting on August 17th. Adopting a resolution authorizing city manager to purchase vehicle exhaust removal system for five fire stations from Air Cleaning Technologies. And item number 4, adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase a brush fire truck for the fire department. What is the board's desire on the consent agenda items 1, 3, and 4?
Stephen Hollenbush, motion to adopt.
This is
Second the
Brewer.
motion. Second. Minor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda items 1, 3, and 4. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And the consent agenda passes. Director Harris, item number 2, adopting a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a construction contract with Tatum Excavating for the Texarkana Trail connections.
Okay, what is this about? It's about that the city had got like I think $430,000 or more from the U.S. From the Arkansas Department of Transportation to finish the walk trail over there by Seaver Street, going on to Robert Street, and over there by Hobo Jungle and around that area there. But my concern is that if you go north of Preston Street, there's no mention of connecting the trail on that side, on the side of the creek there, going up to all the way up, maybe like up to the railroad track there. And from my understanding, that was supposed to be done as to that part too should have been connected as part of that trail. Then the other concern I have been getting from residents who walk the trail, that some part of it they don't like to walk because the creek along Seaver Street, that grass is not being cut, and they kind of figured that snakes or something is coming from the creek and it's gonna be along the walk trail or something. So, and that's another thing that they asked me about getting the creek cut more along the walk trail, even though it's far away from the walk trail down Preston Street. But when you go up further more getting more closer to 71, it kind of get a little bit more towards the creek. And so, but along that area there, it's grass is growing up around the creek and stuff. So that's the only 2 issues I have is the grass around the creek there with the existing walk trail, and why come the walk trail is not crossing Preston Street going along, I think that street called Chelister Street. Why isn't it's not also going north that area?
This is Tyler. The portion north of Preston Street is included in this project. It'll go from Preston Street north alongside the creek there and stop right there near the railroad. As far as the grass alongside the existing trail, I'll take a look at that. I'm not sure exactly what Adam's schedule is on cutting things like that, but I'll get with him and review it and make sure everything's taken care of.
So those big hills along about Chelsea Street will be removed. I guess somebody had piled lots of dirt and stuff along there. I guess that's the concern that they had that use that park every day. What's that park? There's two parks over in that area.
Mhm.
Ernest Hill Park,
And
right
George
across
Williams.
from that, and George Williams. So
Yeah. I don't believe those hills are in the way of this trail. Those are set further back from the creek, if I remember correctly. Now it's been a little while since I've looked at that portion because these plans have been in the works for a long time now. But those hills are outside of the way of this trail.
okay, that's all I have.
Any other discussion? Excuse me, any other discussion with item number 2? If not, I could get the city attorney to read the resolution.
Whereas upon advertisement for the Texarkana Trail Connections Project, RDOT job number 030465, a low bid of $457,294.55 was submitted by Tatum Excavating Company, Inc., that's TEC, Inc., and whereas the low bid was $143,936.55 over the amount budgeted for this project. And whereas Partnership for the Pathway donated $71,061.55, thus reducing the remaining deficiency to $72,875.40. And whereas said low bidder agreed to a change order in the amount of $72,875.40, thus bringing the project within budget. Whereas the City Street Division will perform the work removed by said change order as an in-kind labor materials match. Whereas the city manager and staff recommend board approval. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the city manager is authorized to enter into a construction contract and change order with TEC, Inc. for the services and in the amount set forth above. And further, the FY 2020 budget is amended to recognize the described donation and corresponding expense passed and approved this 8th day of September 2020.
Mayor,
We've heard-
Lane has moved for adoption.
Second,
Stephen Hullabush, second.
any other discussion? If not, could you call the roll, Jenny?
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. So the resolution passes. Stephen, I don't know if it's just me, but I can barely hear you when you're talking.
All right, I'll sit closer and speak up.
Okay, moving along to our regular items on our regular agenda. Item number 5 is to adopt an ordinance levying the 2020 tax rate previously tabled on our 17th meeting. Finance Director Rhonda Henderson.
Good afternoon, Mayor Brown, Board Directors, and City Manager Dr. Haskin. Each year, the city is required to establish the property tax levy for that year, which is then applied by the county to property tax bills in the next year. The proposed 2020 tax levy is the same as in prior years. 5 mills for general fund operations, 1 mill for the fire pension fund, 1 mill for the police pension fund, 1 mill for the library fund, and 2.5 mills for general obligation bond debt service payments. Passage of this ordinance will not increase property tax rates for any city resident. Are there any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Rhonda?
Rhonda, this is Director Peavy. How long have we had these rates?
Oh goodness, these rates have been in place for several years. I'll have to go back and look at the exact dates of when they were approved.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to have the ordinance read on its first reading.
Stephen Hullabush, motion for first reading in abbreviated form.
Second.
Ulysses Brewer, second.
So we have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its first reading. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance levying the 2020 tax rates and for other purposes.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its first reading. Do I have a motion to have the ordinance read on its second reading today?
Make
Stephen
a
Hollibush, motion for second reading, abbreviated form.
second.
Teeters, second.
We have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance levying the 2020 tax rates and for other purposes.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its second reading today. Do I have hear a motion to have it read on its third and final reading today?
Stephen Hollibush,
Mayor,
third reading in abbreviated form.
Brewer, second.
I have a motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading today. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance levying the 2020 tax rates and for other purposes.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its third and final reading today. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Brewer, I make a motion that we adopt
Stephen Hollibush, second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting, is there any discussion? If not, could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Mayor Brown.
Yes. So the ordinance for the levying the 2020 tax rate passes. Moving on to item number 6, adopt an ordinance granting the request for a prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application on behalf of the El Frio Express Incorporated. Josh, is this you or Jake's?
It's Josh's.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I represent El Frio Express. I think you guys, it's located at 204 East 4th Street within the entertainment district. That is the old drive-through Regions Bank building. It was purchased and we are asking for the board to approve as a prerequisite to the alcoholic beverage control to allow us to apply for a private club beer and wine permit for that location. Again, it's a prerequisite like every other one we've done. And it's a requirement for an ordinance to be passed to allow us to apply.
Does anybody have any questions for Josh Potter?
Josh, Director Peavy, is this going to be just a club or a restaurant or what?
It will not be a restaurant. It is just going to serve beverages.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I hear a motion to adopt the ordinance granting this request.
Mayor, I this Lane Head, I move that the ordinance be read in abbreviated form.
Linda Teeter, second.
So we have a motion, a second to have the ordinance read on its first reading. Any other discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application by Ashley Nicole Wright as applicant on behalf of El Frio Express, Inc. and for other purposes.
Mayor Brown, this Lane Harris again. I move that we suspend the rules and place the ordinance on the second reading.
There's a second.
Stephen Hollibush, second.
So a motion, a second to have the ordinance read on its second reading today. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application by Ashley Nicole Wright as applicant on behalf of El Frio Express, Inc. and for other purposes.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its second reading today. Do I hear a motion to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading?
Mayor, this Lane Harris again, and I move that the ordinance is, the rule is fully suspended and the ordinance placed on third and final reading.
Is there a second?
Second, Teeters.
We have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. So the ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. Do I hear a motion to adopt the ordinance today?
Mayor, this
Mayor,
Lane Harris.
Just briefly, I need to read the ordinance one third time.
Go ahead.
An ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application by Ashley Nicole Wright as applicant on behalf of El Frio Express, Inc. and for other purposes.
The ordinance has been read its third and final time. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
Mayor, this Lane Harris, I move that ordinance be adopted.
Second?
Second. Yeah.
Brewer, second.
Is there any discussion prior to the board voting to adopt this ordinance? Hearing none, could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. So the ordinance passes. Okay, moving along to item number 7, to adopt an ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application on behalf of the Texarkana Hideout. This is Attorney Jake Potter.
That's correct, Mayor. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is for a club on 311 East Broad downtown. If anybody's driven by there lately in the past month or so, there's been a ton of work going on down there. The corporation is Texarkana Hideout, Inc., and my applicant is Marisol Roxana Eaton. And this is not going to be a restaurant. This is just a club only in the entertainment district. And we are not asking for an emergency clause today.
Does any board members have any questions for Jake?
Mayor, I got a question.
Okay.
Could you, this Lane Harris, could you again describe where this is located at?
It's the old,
What's
it's the old Salvation Army building downtown.
oh, okay. Okay, I know what's it.
And I think the crews have been working for probably a couple of months at least now, getting everything ready to go.
Okay.
Any other
thank you.
questions? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to have the ordinance read on its first reading today?
Motion to have the ordinance read in abbreviated form for the first reading.
For a second?
Stephen Hollibush.
Minor. Okay.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its first reading. Could you call the roll, please? Hello?
Sorry, Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters, Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application by Marisol Roxana Eaton as applicant on behalf of Texarkana Hideout, Inc., and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its first reading today. Do I hear a motion to have it read on its second reading today?
Stephen Hollibush, motion for second reading, abbreviated form.
Brewer, second.
I have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading today. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application by Marisol Roxana Eaton as applicant on behalf of Texarkana Hideout, Inc., and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its second reading today. Do I have a motion to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading?
Stephen Hollibush, motion for third reading.
Second.
Linda Teeter, second.
We have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading today. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters, Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance granting the request for prerequisite municipal approval of a private club application by Marisol Roxana Eaton as applicant on behalf of Texarkana Hideout, Inc., and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second. Brewer.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting, is there anyone that wishes to address the board prior to us voting? Hearing none, could you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the ordinance passes. Okay, thank you, guys, Potter twins. All right, moving right along, we're down to citizens' communication time. Jenny, is there anyone that has expressed a desire to address the board?
Mayor.
Yes, sir. There are two that I believe are linked in. Roosevelt or Tabitha Williams and a Robert Martin. And then I have another thing I need to read.
Okay. So the first name he called out was Williams.
Yes, Williams. It was concerning East 11th Street.
Okay. Are you present on the call?
I've allowed them to talk. They just need to unmute.
They need to unmute.
What was the first name, Jenny?
Roosevelt.
Mr. Williams, are you on? Well, let's try the second call, the second address.
Okay. That is Mr. Robert Martin.
Mr. Martin, are you on our call? I mean, I can't see everybody. Y'all see them tuned into?
They're
I
on.
see
They're
his face
just
on the
muted.
screen, and he does not have the mute button on.
Are they still on?
Martin is on, his hand is up and he's unmuted.
Allowed to talk.
I can't hear him, Jenny.
Garrett's trying.
Okay.
Well, I could go ahead
You want to go ahead and read your other?
Yes, sir. It is from John and Julie Ray Harrison, Partnership for the Pathway. The Partnership for the Pathway is pleased to play a role in helping the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, build a community trail system by providing matching funds of $85,505.36. We are confident this safe trail system will encourage citizens to be outdoors for exercise, recreation, and active transportation. The trail system connects include residential neighborhood, churches, retail, schools, and parks, and recreation sites. We appreciate your vote for this community improvement project. It is always a pleasure for us to work with the city's initiative Public Works Department employees. Excuse me. We thank you for the opportunity to collaborate with the city of Texarkana, Arkansas in this community-centered effort, and thank you for your support.
So have we made any headway with Mr. Williams or Mr. Martin?
Mr. Martin, can you hear us?
Mr. Martin, do you wish to address the board?
Mayor, he's unmuted. He's maybe unable to speak, unfortunately.
I do have another person that called in who cannot get on the phone. He was having technical issues. It was a Tony McLaughlin. He wants to petition to get his house back, number 25 Cleveland. And that's all that I have this note saying.
So I'm not for sure where we can go from here if we're having these, how long we can wait for these to. They're on the call. They're either muted or.
I sent an unmute request to Mr. Williams. Mr. Martin, I have opened up the chat function in case you're having audio issues.
This is Director Peavy. Tyler, since you're here, could you, how does he go about petitioning to have his, about his house and getting that?
I'm unfamiliar with the situation. What's going on?
I don't know.
I don't have any information other than this note says he wanted to petition to get his house back.
Do we condemn it?
I don't know. I'd have to
I
check
don't remember that
on this.
address.
But even if we
No.
did condemn it, that's not still not our property. We don't
I
take
can
over
tell
the
you what-
property.
Hello, this is Lane Harris. I can tell you what it's about. He used to have a trailer there, and now I think the codes have changed to put a modular home there, and that's what he's trying to do. He used to have a trailer house there over there on Cleveland Street, and now since the ordinance has changed, he's trying to put a trailer house back, but the code say a modular home. So.
He would have to follow the normal protocols, would he not, Tyler, going through the planning commission?
That's correct. He would just need to contact my office. That name doesn't sound familiar. That address doesn't sound familiar. I don't recall talking to him, but he would just need to contact us.
Yeah,
Well, what he told me that that he had contacted Public Works twice on that, and he's not getting no response or nothing. But I don't know, Public Works really know what he was trying to do. When he went down there and got first initially tried to do this, they told him that that since they looked on the map at the lady at the front desk and told him he was not allowed to do that. So put a mobile home back. It had to be a modular home. Now, what's the difference? I do not know. That's something Public Works or somebody else will have to figure that out. So I don't know what
the difference is how they're built to code. We can't allow a house within city limits that's not built to code. Anything that's brought in and set there has to be to code already. One is already to code, and one is not. But I'll speak with Mr. McLaughlin and see exactly what the situation is, and we'll take care of them.
Hello?
I saw some communication from Mr. Martin. We're still having an issue hearing him.
Yes, but we do have Williams.
We do have Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, are you on the line?
This is Miss Williams. I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My concern was 11th Street, and I already spoke to Mr. Tyler this morning about that issue. And it was about the street being in bad condition and also some property grown up really bad, as well as some trees in the 3rd Ward area.
And what street is this?
East 11th Street, between Lincoln and Lawrence, going towards Oak Street.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add?
That's about it this morning. Yes.
All right. Moving on to Mr. Martin. We spoke with Tyler about Nicks Creek flooding issue at 34.
Mayor, this is Barbara Minor, and Mr. Martin has called me, and it concerns wanting all of the Nicks Creek ditches cleaned, especially that concrete one just off that runs parallel with Arkansas Boulevard. And just so many issues with the flooding is his concern.
I did receive an email from him with their plan and with their photographs, and
yes, and I received the same. Yes.
My response is we're going to look into some of this. We have to. I have a couple of meetings this week, and we'll see where we can go. And we've got our process of our budget coming up in the next couple of months for next year. So I'm hope that, we can devise a plan to start addressing some of these drainage issues that's been exposed to us.
And this is Director Peavy. I hope so too. And I know we're short on manpower and we haven't been able to afford as many employees as we need in public works. And maybe that can start being addressed also so that we can have the manpower, more manpower to address our citizens' needs.
Any other comments?
Well, we're still here. Tyler, can you give us an update on where we are on getting that old building continue to be torn down downtown? Have any news on that?
Right now, I'm fighting with insurance. It's been an extremely lengthy process, and I was supposed to have a conference call with them on Friday, but they stood me up for the third time. And I just received an email about 30 minutes ago that they'd like to speak tomorrow. Whether that will happen or not, I'm not sure. But I'm going to give them this one last shot. And if they don't speak with me, then I'm going to have to wait for the insurance company's decision. And at that point, if it's not a decision favorable for us or the property owners, I'll move forward with filing on the contractor's bond.
Right.
But I do apologize. I know it's been a long process, and I promise you, I'm ready to get that thing down as much as everyone else.
Yes, I was just wondering where you
Yeah.
were on that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Teeters.
Stephen Hallibush, second.
So a motion and a second to adjourn. Would you call the roll, please?
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, we're adjourned. Thank you.